All right, guys, it's 6:30, I guess, and we should get started. I hope my audio is clear to all of you. If you are facing some problem, you can just put it in the chat. And I think, yeah, shall we wait for another minute? Maybe another 30 seconds, okay? By the way, this is a Microsoft whiteboard. It's not a PPT, so we are going to do some writing work over here. Okay. All right, I think, yeah, let's start. So I already see some questions from, I think one of the question was from Nikhil. We'll take it maybe about after 20-25 minutes, after which I have, I have completed what the session is all about, what everybody is expecting. Okay, so a brief introduction about me. I'm Rudranil. I'm a product marketing manager, if you have heard of that term. I generally work for marketing of software products, and for quite some time I have been doing it independently as a consultant for many startup businesses, okay, mostly software startups, or at least IT-enabled, software-enabled startups. And as it happens with any kind of marketing for online businesses, Google Analytics has become a part of my regular work, okay, because I need to see the traffic, I need to see what users are doing. Because I'm a product marketer, I have to also understand somewhat the digital marketing part as well, okay. So that's where my interest in Google Analytics comes from. And since I have a background in development and coding and all these things before I did my MBA, I have also learned how to do some sort of implementation in Google Analytics, and I have really improved over that after doing quite a few implementations over the years. And it was not the case when I started with it. That's where I want to take the topic of this session, okay? Initially, when I started using Google Analytics, and let me go to the account. So this is the new Google Analytics account, okay? Some of you may be using the Universal Analytics version. This is what they call as GA4 version. So when I started using Google Analytics initially, okay, a typical way of a person who is using Google Analytics just on the initial days, I would say, okay, they would go to this kind of traffic acquisition reports and user acquisition reports. Okay, we'll go there, and this is pretty simple to understand. Now, if I just pick one of them, you'll see a chart like this, which gives an idea of what volume of traffic is coming to your website. Okay. This is coming from organic mediums. So we would go there and check that out. We would see that, okay, it's looking stable, or it's going down, or it's going up. If it is going up, then we are happy, we have done a great job in marketing. And we would keep on doing that. If it was going down, then we would be concerned, oh my God, what happened? And then, all those searches would happen on the website, why it went down, and all that. Regular marketing analytics kicks in and what we need to do, okay? And then if it was stable, okay, fine, it's stable, it's about 2,000 users per day, how can we bring more? These are the topics that we would regularly work with. And similarly, we would go to something like a traffic acquisition report, okay? And here also you'll see that this kind of a chart shows up, okay? And this is basically to find out from which source the user has come, okay? Source could be something like Google Ads, okay? Or it could be the search. Somebody typed in some search query, and my website link showed up somewhere in the top. They clicked on that, and they arrived at the website. The Google Analytics account actually captured that like this, Google Organic or Google CPC, okay? And once they capture that, I can see the data over here, this volume, okay? So there are 23,000 users, for example, coming to the website from no source, this is direct. And then from organic, they are coming about 22,000. And then, it so happens that Google Ads is working. We are getting regularly some number of users over here. Okay, this is 5,800 for a date range that we can see here. And suddenly one day we see that it's dropping. Oh my God, what happened? Okay, must be there is some problem with the ads, or there must be something going wrong with the bidding, right? All these digital marketing questions started coming up. Okay, but it was not very complete. From the point where I have this data on, okay, my traffic is dropping from Google CPC, maybe over here, it's increasing over here, let's say it's dropping. That part is clear, but why is it dropping? Okay, what is it exactly the user is doing on the website? Maybe they are not signing up. Here we are just seeing the traffic, but if you go to the Google Ads account, you will see a number on conversions as well. Conversions is what is the goal you have set for that user who arrives on the website. Okay, so you see that the users are not signing up. That's my goal, but then I don't know why they do not sign up, right? And then a lot of A/B tests start. Okay, maybe this text font is not right. Okay, maybe whatever we have put in the form, maybe we should reduce the form fields. Okay, or maybe locate the form somewhere else. And it was really shooting in the dark. Okay, and for quite some time I used to use Google Analytics like that, until one day somebody told me about some concepts, and then I started digging, and then I found out that a lot of user actions can be captured from the website, okay, in different ways. And not just user actions, there are different kind of things that we will discuss in this topic. Okay, so that's what my topic of this session is. We want to go beyond simple analysis like, where my traffic is coming from and how much is the volume of traffic versus some sort of basic demographic data that you can see over here, right? You can see that users, age, and location, and all these things we can see. But there is a lot beyond this, okay? And that beyond this is what we are going to discuss. Okay, so let's do it in a more basic, what is fundamental way. Okay, so let me go to the whiteboard. Okay, I'll also quickly check the questions once in a while if there is something. All right, yeah, Nikhil, you can use it for the apps. Okay, we'll quickly talk about that maybe in a few minutes. All right, so let me go to the whiteboard. Okay, so let's say this is your website. Okay, very nice website. There's a URL of the website, and there's some heading over here, and there are some buttons over here, right? And all these things. And this is a Google Analytics account, G account. So we saw one over there in the screen, right? So that's the account I'm talking about. Now what happens is, whenever a website is showing data in some Google Analytics account, how does that happen? That happens by a connection that's made between them. Okay, over here. Now what is this connection? This connection is, every Google Analytics account will have a what they call as measurement ID. Okay, and I like going old chalk style way of explaining, so I'm not going to use any PPT. Now this measurement ID is copied to these pages, okay, all the pages on this website. There is something technical going behind this, how that is done. Okay, let's look at the concepts. The how may come later. It's not really important for this session, but we need to know how it is fundamentally working, right? So there are pages where this measurement ID gets copied to. Okay, and since this website is connected to the internet, okay, and the typical JavaScript code which has this measurement ID goes to the website. Every time that page loads, every time one page loads, for example, this home page loads, the JavaScript that's there on this page, okay, it sends data to Google Analytics account. Okay, it sends a page view. So Google Analytics knows that someone has logged into the website or visited the website, right? So far so good. Okay, but with page views, there are certain kinds of information that you can send to the account, and Google Analytics does it automatically. You don't have to write a lot of code for that or do anything about it. Just copying the measurement ID, we'll see what the measurement ID is, don't worry. So just copying the measurement ID on this page, make sure that this page view is taken care of, okay? And then once it is taken care of, you can see certain kinds of data like the location of the user, okay? Maybe the gender, what device they have logged in from, right? It's a mobile, or maybe it's a, let's say, a desktop application, okay? Desktop device is being used. So all these things start being collected by Google Analytics. But this is very standard implementation, okay? This works in a standard way for all the kind of websites or all kind of devices and anything that you see out there. But not all website is similar, isn't it? So I can get a source from here, source maybe Google, that Google Analytics is able to figure out. But Google Analytics doesn't know what kind of website do you have, okay? Does it, is it a e-commerce website? Is it a software website, okay, where you're selling software? Is it a blogging website? All these things are not clear. The way pages are structured, these things are not known to Google Analytics, okay? And that's where I see a lot of limitation in the use of GA, because from here, the out-of-box implementation doesn't work. You start doing, you start capturing data by doing some additional steps, which is not very straightforward, okay? Maybe some developer can, figure out and learn it. Some simple ones, even people like me who don't do coding so much, or people like you out there, maybe someone who is in marketing doesn't do coding, they have got steps to capture that data, okay? And that's where that 80% of usage comes from, okay? So let's talk about that. Now, at this point of time, we saw this page view. Now, what happens is this is an event, okay? And this term should be, learned as much as possible in Google Analytics, because everything is driven by an event, okay? So a user logs in, that code I was talking about sends an event to the Google Analytics account. Let's see that quickly live, how that works, okay? So I'll go back to my account over here. All right, and here you will see that there's an account named TryShop GA4. This is a dummy account that I generally use for demoing some stuff related to Google Analytics, okay? So let me open that website. Okay, and you'll see that this is a dummy e-commerce page, and I've got some products over here. You can actually buy those products, but it will not get delivered to you. I'm sorry for that, okay? So you can do an add to cart, and then you can, move forward, view cart, proceed to checkout. You'll see it's exactly like e-commerce website. And then I will say cash on delivery. And then I click on place order. And the order is placed. Let's go back to the Google Analytics account. And you will see that this user is getting shown up in the real time, right? And my location is also shown up. So I'm currently, live feeding from Visakhapatnam. So it shows up over here. And there is some information right over here, event count by event name. So this gets very interesting. See this event, page view, right? This is the event that Google Analytics fires automatically, okay? But there are quite a few that it doesn't. And that's where the fun is, okay? You see view item over here. If I click on view item, you'll see that if I page title, let's go there. And you will see that the t-shirt product that I just added to the cart by viewing that is showing up over here, right? And I can go to another kind of a view to find out more. Let me go to another view. This is also kind of a real-time view. Real time. All right. So what you will see over here is that the exact steps are captured. Okay, let me go to the first item. Page view, view items happened, view item list, and some other stuff. Add to cart, that got captured, right? And so on. So all these are events. If you are using Google Analytics without doing the implementation that's done over here, you are really using a very, very small part of it. Okay, and this event implementation may involve some coding, and sometimes you can do it without coding as well. But certainly, if you have this, you are going to gain a lot in terms of what you can capture, what you can have ready for your marketing analysis. Okay, so let's check that out. Okay, I'll go back over here. So how does this event work? Let's talk about that. We had seen one, right? We had seen view item. Now, how does this view item event work? So what happens is that whenever a user sees that page, okay, this particular page, let me go to shop and let me open this belt. Okay, so you will see that all these products have a slash product and then slash product name over here, right? This is the general pattern you will see in any kind of product over here. So I have built in some intelligence in the system that whenever a page with this product loads, okay, and then the product name loads over here, I fire another event, but this time it's not the Google Analytics standard event, okay, the page view event. This is event that I have myself written, and it's kind of a code, and that's where tag manager also comes into picture, okay. But then we'll leave tag manager aside for now. So I have written some code which is firing this event, this custom event that I have, to the Google Analytics account. And in real time, you're able to see that it's getting over there, okay? And if I leave this data, if I leave this data for some time, you will see that it gets persisted in the Google Analytics database, and you can use it for analysis forever, okay? Now, let's see where the measurement ID is and what these events are all about, and how does it generally look like, okay? So in this try shop account, if I go to admin, and then if I go to data streams, all right, let me open, yeah, I think this is the one. See this measurement ID, okay? Now what happens is this measurement ID is connected to the website, okay? And that's where Google Analytics knows that whenever there is a hit that comes on a particular website, it has to be directed to this account. This is the measurement ID that makes sure. And if you see the code over here, you'll see this is the kind of code that it looks like, okay? Again, you'll see that there is a measurement ID over here. Basically, this code is copied from here and pasted in all the pages of Google Analytics. Now you can introduce a tool called Tag Manager to make it slightly different, but in a very plain basic way. When you do it, you actually copy this code, paste it in all the website pages, and you are connected. But then when you have to write an event, okay, how do you do that? Now you see there is an option over here called gtag config and then the ID. This is responsible for sending a page view, but a similar kind of code can also send events, okay? So we'll not go into the code, but I'll show you what data we can send from the event. So for that, I need to go to Tag Manager, okay? All right, so let me zoom it in so that you can see it. And somewhere I'll have that try shop as well, okay? I do a lot of Tag Manager work, so quite a few of them are there. All right, now here, let me open at least one tag to show you how that event looks like. Okay, let's open, I think we are looking at the view item. Maybe we'll open a simple one for now, menu click, okay? So this menu click event is taking care of the clicks on these items, okay? Let me zoom this as well. So if I click on one of these, the menu click event gets fired over here. And you will see that along with the menu click event, this is the name of the event, okay? The event name that shows up somewhere over here in the real-time reports. I'm sorry, this is the one. Let's go back to the real-time reports. All right. All right. So these are the event names, and that name comes from here, okay? And along with that name, you will see that there is a button name, and I'm sending the click text. So what is the click text over here? Somebody clicks over here, the click text gets sent. So if somebody clicks on shop, the HTML code behind that will have that shop text, and that gets sent to Google Analytics. Okay, so let's do that. If we click over here, you will see that there must be a menu click somewhere. All right, it takes some time to get loaded. Maybe you can check that later. But then the idea is that the text gets sent like this. And once you have the data on the other side of the system, you can do anything with it, right? You can actually go ahead and put the data in data studio kind of reports, okay? And that's a separate part. That's again another kind of a tool. But over there, you can arrange the reports and see the data behind how many times which menu got clicked. So for example, if I go here, there is some raw data I can see here as well in events. And you'll see how that additional intelligence starts making a lot of sense. There you go. That's the menu click. Okay. And if I increase this date range, I'll have some more data to look at. All right, let's do that. You see that button name? Now, over here, let's see what intelligence we are getting. We are seeing that the shop button got clicked the most, right? And then after that, the blog button got clicked, okay? And so on. Then the home button got clicked. So let's say you are doing some marketing. You are running Google ads. And you're bringing users to the website, the TryShop website. And then you are also trying to figure out that whether users are taking the intended route that I want them to take. Okay, the intended route could be the shop page, where actually the real products are out there. And unless users come to the shop page, probably they will not know about the product and they will not do any purchase. So you're expecting users to at least click on this shop page and come over here, select one of these items and move forward. And what you see over here is that, yeah, most of the users are clicking the shop, but a lot of users are moving towards blogs. Okay, that's a red signal. You do not want that. Your ad dollars should be spent more on shop. Okay, and this is a marketing manager's decision, I would say, something that I do day in and day out, that what do I want users to do. But it could be a goal for you that you do not want users to go to blog. Fine, if there is an organic user, they are going to blogs, fine, but I'm running ads, I do not want that to happen. And this is where you see the data. Okay, if you had not implemented this, you would have not seen the data, right? So events are important and you can do all sorts of things. Okay, let me give you another example that was known as enhanced e-commerce in the traditional universal analytics. If you Google that term, you'll find it, or you may have seen it, right? Now, enhanced e-commerce is used generally for e-commerce website. So let's say this is your website and you have got this beanie product. You want to see that how many people are actually looking at this beanie product, how many of them are adding it to the cart, and so on, right? That's a very common goal for any marketer when they're running e-commerce websites. They want to see which product is selling more, which product is getting stuck after add to cart, which product is not even getting viewed by the users, isn't it? So then you could actually, by the means of events, send that data to Google Analytics. Okay, there's an e-commerce framework in place. It requires some coding. So if you're non-coder, you will have to probably take JavaScript developer's help. But the important part to know over here is that such a system exists, okay, and you can use it. If you want to see that in real time, you will see that over here. If you go to monetization and go to overview, okay. All right, I'm getting some questions over here, so I'll take it after I have done this session, maybe another 5 minutes. Okay, let's stick around. Now, monetization overview. You see that there is an item name over here. So basically, using that framework, and that framework is again an events framework. Okay, along with the event, we send some data to Google Analytics. Okay, and that data shows up over here. There are some guidelines to set that up, but then you can see it over here, and then you know that, okay, fine, Google crewneck sweatshirt black is getting purchased, or yeah, it's getting purchased the most, isn't it? That's what it shows, 194. And there would be other products. If you go to view items, you'll see that some of the products are not even getting viewed. So these parts of Google Analytics, not many people use, and that's what my message is, that if you are implementing or using Google Analytics, you should definitely explore these parts. Okay, and I've got a course on Udemy where I actually explain all these steps. Okay, now let's go to the next one. So first one is events. Let's go to this whiteboard, and this event will help you send a lot of data. Right, whatever data you can capture from the website, you can send it via the event. That's the idea. I can capture any text on the website, right? Using JavaScript, I can navigate to any part. I can script the page, find out the exact data that I want to send, push it along with the event parameters that you saw inside the tag manager, push the data, and have it ready on the other side for me to look at it when I'm doing that marketing analysis of mine. Okay. Along with event, and this is the second point that I want to discuss. The first was those parameters, okay? And the second is something that's related to users, okay? Now, let's take this question that you have visitors on the website and you want to find out who are these visitors interested in what kind of products, okay? So on this try shop, we may have seen different kinds of products, right? Let's go to try shop and shop. So you'll see some sort of t-shirts and all these accessories and products, right? So if people are browsing hoodie, I may want to tag these kind of users as hoodie lovers, maybe, right? Or maybe I want to categorize them into something. And you will see that happening over here. If I go to real time, okay, view user snapshot. And if I keep scrolling down, you see this category lovers t-shirt. This is something that's beyond event parameters. This is user parameters. Okay. So I want to tag a user with some parameters, that what kind of user it is. I can do that. And then I can do analysis for that particular group of users separately. This is the second point. Okay. The data goes with event, but then this is at the user level. Okay. So you can say that, okay, I want to see how these t-shirt related users are behaving on the website. Are they really buying t-shirt, or they're moving to hoodie after a point of time? So you get all those intelligence, and it will help you whether you are running ads, you are doing organic, kind of investigation of how your organic is working out. All right. So this is all about it. Okay. Now, this is the second one. The third one that I want to talk about is retention. Another very important tool in marketing that not many of us use. Okay. All right. User retention. Now there is a chart like this over here. Now, if you have ever done digital marketing, you would know that the failure of digital marketing is, not having conversions is still fine. But when you are having conversions, but what happens is the user who had visited the website, they stop coming to the website after some time. Let's say you spend $1,000 getting a bunch of visitors to the website. They come for the first time, they do some browsing here and there, but they do not automatically come over and over again. Think of Facebook. If Facebook users sign up, browse the first day, check out, create an account, and from the day 2 or day 3, they stop coming. Okay. Can you pay money every single day to get them to the website? No, it's a loss-making business in that case. Okay. So you want the repeat visits to happen voluntarily, automatically. Okay. You do not want the repeat visits to happen once in a while. You want them to come over and over, get engaged to the website, and marketing dollars should not be spent doing that every time. Acquisition is fine, not after acquisition. Remarketing, well, yeah, sometimes maybe remarketing is good, but not after acquisition and some sort of remarketing should you do it more and more, because that will lead to a business loss. So this user retention chart actually shows that. Okay. And there are ways to customize this as well. Now the thing is, you see that in this website, all the users who started on day 0, okay, for them, whatever is the day 1. Okay. See, if I visit a website today, my day 1 is tomorrow. So for them on this website, the day 1, only 5.8% of those users have returned. Okay. That's a bad sign. Out of every 100 users, only 5 returned. you think of the loss you have, right? So then retention data is extremely important. It shows that whether your traffic is sustainable or not. Okay, so this is the third point that I see very few users using it. In the universal analytics, there is a cohort analysis report that gives a similar kind of data. Okay, so this is something you should really keep a note of, that not many users do. And it seems that my Google ad is working fine, my organic is working fine, but your users are not returning, right? So you are spending dollars, and maybe a small time transaction is happening, but then it's almost dead after a while, right? Not good, not good at all. So that's the third thing. The fourth point is that of individual users. Now what we see over here is a bunch of users and data anonymously collected for the bunch of users to understand what these users are doing, right? It's a collective data, multiple people, you're seeing it in bunched up format. But what if you want to see an individual user's journey? Okay, there's a way to do that. And the technique is called user ID creation. Okay, so what Google says is, if you are transparent to your visitor, saying that if you sign up to our website, I'm going to send data anonymously, not personal data, but only anonymous data to Google, saying that, okay, for me, this user has got an ID. Okay, that ID could be 1, 2, 3, 25, ABC, and so on. And you can connect that ID to your CRM or wherever you are storing that user's login credentials, right? And then you can find out for that particular user, the ID, okay, what exactly they have done on the website. So let's go there, and let me open one of these reports. Okay, I think I need to go to this account and explore. User Explorer. So this is the report you are looking for. All right, and you see that these are IDs. Okay, if I open one of these IDs, and it shows exactly what this user has done, right? So if you are trying to track an individual users, how they have interacted across the different elements, generated events on this website, this is the place to go. Now, user ID implementation again would require developer help, but most of the people who have a login system on their website should try to do that, because often this data comes in handy. Okay, so these are the rest of the 4 things. We discussed one that we do the 20% of it, and the rest 20% of it into which creates the 100%. Of course, there are so many ways you can model the data. Again, due to the paucity of time, it really takes a lot of time to explain these things. Okay, so there are many ways you can plan how you want to see the data on your Google Analytics reports, or if you are doing some custom reports in Data Studio kind of a tool. But the idea is that you should know that that's possible. And we have seen some examples over here where we saw that some additional stuff can be done to get the data. Okay, so with that, I think I have discussed what I wanted to discuss. Let's take the questions. If you have some more questions, you can just shoot me right now. It's about 7. Let's take another 5 to 10 minutes to answer the questions. Okay, all right. So first thing was that how do you optimize Google Ads, right? Somewhere Nikhil, I think, had asked it. Display ads. Okay, so display ads, see, there are 2 parts to the display ads, isn't it? The first part is when it's wherever the ad is put. Okay, your image is optimized or not, your text is optimized or not on the image, and all those things, right? So that part is the Google Ads part. We'll not discuss that. But what happens when people click on that ad and then come over to the website, right? And that's where, again, what the framework that I was telling you about, that you have to put the right events in right places. You are expecting users to do something on the website, right? Apart from that conversion, you are trying to see that the users are, browsing the right pages that you want them to browse, are clicking the right buttons you want to browse. So you put events in all those places and see how users behave across those. If you see that they're not clicking the events that you wanted them to click, well, that's the problem. Then that particular button that that was supposed to be clicked is not getting clicked. Maybe you have to put your marketing hat on over there and make the changes, or do some A/B test, change the text of the button, give a better value proposition over there, right? All these things you can start doing. All right. Looking for, okay, next is Google Analytics only good for page load data, or can be used for getting deeper data as well, like mixed? Of course, yeah. So you already saw that, right? We can use it to get a lot of data. And this part that I have discussed today is on data collection, basically. Okay, how do you capture that data? But then you can also report it in different kind of tools. Even Google Analytics has got that report that you saw, right? Mixpanel is much better on the product side. Okay, they do Google Analytics is very good on the website side, but if you have a SaaS product kind of thing, then Heap or Mixpanel is used more. But the thing is that if you want to get started with some free tool, you know, you are not really that ambitious as of now of using hundreds of specialized tools, and you have this compulsion of seeing the data inside one particular tool, you can always use Google Analytics. It does all the job. You have to do the configuration inside the SaaS panel as well, using events, the concept of events. Even Mixpanel has that, right? So that's the idea. Now you can take your pick. Mixpanel is extremely good tool as well. All right. Can we use Google Analytics for? Yeah, of course you can use Google Analytics for apps. The name for that used to be Firebase Analytics. Okay, so basically what they had done is they had bought this company which had built the Firebase tool, and it had its own analytics. Firebase Analytics also works on events. It is not as robustly, you know, used with Tag Manager, I would say. You have to do all those Android related programming or iOS related programming. There are the APIs to do that actually. So take a look at Firebase Analytics, and it is now converting. So it's changing now. So Google Analytics 4 has got this mobile related facility as well. Okay. So if I were to show that to you somewhere, maybe I have something. Let's see. Is this the one? It may not be, but then if I go to admin over here, and if I go to data streams, you'll see that I can create data streams. Okay. First is for web, the regular one, but then there is one for Android app and one for iOS. So what happens is now with Google Analytics 4, you can connect all the streams together. You have got data coming from your app, you've got data coming from your website, or maybe iOS app or whatever it is. You can merge it together and see it in one report. Okay, that's the benefit of using GA4. And the Android app related thing, again, I have a Udemy course on that will get you started with the basics. And we have got an app over there where you can, you know, install the app yourself and do the implementation to learn it. So inside your app, you have to insert this Firebase Analytics related code. Okay, GA4 for mobile application is nothing but a different reporting tool for the same Firebase Analytics. API remains the same. So API is something like, you know, Firebase Analytics.log event, then event name, pass parameters, A equal to B, C equal to D in name value format. Okay, that's how it works. So if you want to look at it, go ahead and check out Firebase Analytics API, and then you will find something over there. Okay. All right. Any way to integrate FB billing as well to see the campaign performance? I do not know that. It has not been a priority for us, but I don't think there is anything in Google Analytics 4 to do that as of now. Okay. So you have to do it separately. Do you prefer this to Mixpanel? Mixpanel, again, no, I would prefer Google Analytics because it's, if you are getting stuck with some issues, now both the tools are pretty good, okay? I would say Mixpanel's reporting looks more neat, okay? But then with Google Analytics, you have got a couple of advantages. It has got a huge customer base. So if you have some questions, you'll generally find the answer to that, okay? Generally, whatever happens with these open source communities, a lot of people use it, a lot of people actually talk about it and all that thing. The second thing is that Google Analytics has got a very big brand behind it, so it keeps on evolving pretty fast, okay? And now you see all these app-related stuff coming in. So that's also an advantage. Again, I would always use Google Analytics on the website. And if you've got, as an organization, you've got a lot of money to spend, then Adobe Analytics also gives a pretty decent overview. I have not used it much. But then, yeah, I would prefer for websites at least, I would prefer Google Analytics. On the product side, you can use maybe Heap or Mixpanel. All these are good tools, okay? But if you really want to stick with Google Analytics as well, because your reporting comes together if you are, having that same tool. I've seen another account of my client where one side is related to Heap collection, the product side, and other side is related to Google Analytics. But we really have to log into two products to see what's happening on the product side and on the client side, on the website side. So that's a challenge that will always remain. But again, yeah, it's a choice that you have to make at the end of the day. Okay, can you also talk about the Google Ads LinkedIn that's mentioned below? Okay. Google Ads LinkedIn, I don't see anything mentioned below. Okay, while using the data for ads campaign, if we filter. So Raj, could you be more elaborate about what you are trying to understand over here? Okay, Varshan says, while using the data for ads campaign, if we filter much and left with only few visitors around 15, 20, okay, can we do campaign on that too? I think there is a limitation on the list inside your Google Ads. So I use Google Ads quite often. And when you're creating a remarketing list or any kind of audience list over there, there's a limit on that. I mean, you can't really send it to a very small audience. It is mostly 1,000 users at least for search. And for display, it is about, I think, 10, 15,000. I don't exactly remember. But always there is a cap, right? So I don't think you'll be able to do a campaign for 15 to 20 users using Google Ads, okay? You can do it using email marketing if you have the email of those users, but that's about it. It needs to increase actually, okay? Okay, Google Ad linking to its button on the below left panel. Oh, okay, that's pretty easy actually. It's very, very easy. I may have an account, let me see. Maybe this one. Okay, so what you can do is, let me see if there's another account there where I have it. So I can show it to you exact. See, this is the one, right? So try shop, and it's connected to a Google Ads account. So it's pretty easy actually. Okay, you want to click over there. Now choose Google Ads account. Okay, it's already there, so it's connected. But if there are more over here, you can always click on that, select it. Now, why it's showing up over here, this is real personal, is because my Google Ads account and the analytics account is in the same email, okay, under the same email. So it's picking it up from there, okay. So once you do that, you click on next. There are some settings over here, pretty simple ones, okay. And then you complete it and that connection is made, okay. It's that simple actually. Nothing big over there, okay. All right. Anything else? I think we have already. We are already in 40 minutes. So yeah, I think it's time to close. We don't have any more questions. So now that you know, let me summarize it then. Okay, we saw what are the general techniques that we generally use: checking the traffic, checking the source, checking the demographics. That's out of the box available. We saw another 3 or 4 things. The most important part where I spent a lot of time was events. So any kind of data that you want to collect, always think in terms of events. Your mind should become like an event box. Okay, so that's the second thing we had talked about. The third thing we have talked about is putting users in bunches. Okay, some users always watch the t-shirts, some users always buy home utensils. You can actually group them together using user related data, user properties. You have also got the user explorer to check out the individual users and retention, right? Now, I have a Udemy course. If you are interested in it, I actually discuss in detail how the connections are made, what are these different reports that we are seeing, what kind of data modeling can you do. So data modeling is pretty important. How do you want to collect the data from your website? Basically, there are many ways to do it. and GA4 provides a lot of opportunities for that. So we'll check that. We also check how to create these reports in Data Studio. So all that kind of thing. I've got an app on, I've got a course on mobile apps as well. So quite a few things that you can check out on Udemy. You can search my name along with Udemy and you will find in the link. Okay. So yeah, that's it. Thank you everybody for joining, I think, and we'll stop the session over here if there's nothing more to do from here on. Have a great time. Have a good day. Have a great Google Analytics related professional career if you are looking for that. Okay. Thank you.